free and constraint system. Basically, if we are having some particles, like we are having a system of n particles, and these particles are moving in the space or in the plane or whatever the given system is. So sometimes some constraints are imposed. What is a constraint? It's a restriction. Any kind of restriction can be imposed. Like we can impose that all the particles will move on a line that makes an angle with the x-axis. If we are talking about plane, assume in the xy plane we are working, and I am saying that all the particles will move along a line that makes an angle of degree 45 degree along the x-axis. Okay, so it's a restriction. Now the particles will move only on a single line. All of you know that that very line will be xy is equal to x equal to y. Okay, so the particles will move in on that line. Next thing, the free system. If we are just saying that okay, we are having some particles and the particles are moving in the plane. With what condition? No, there is no condition. Or the particles are moving in the space. So none of the condition is imposed. Such a system is known as the free system, and a system on which some restrictions are applied. That very system is known as the constraint system. For an example, if we are replacing velocity with speed, just assume that we are having 6 scooters or 6 bikes. If we are having 6 persons on bikes, now we are saying that okay, all of you are to move towards Delhi.
सर आपकी आवाज क्लियर नहीं आ रही।
What is the issue? Now clear?
सब बहुत ज्यादा डिस्टरबेंस आ रही है।
Is it clear? Hello. Hello.
यस सर।
Is it clear?
यस सर।
Okay. So, we people were discussing about the constraint system. Okay, and we were just discussing an example. Assume we are having 6 persons on bikes. So, we are having a system of 6 bikes. And we are giving them the instruction that you are to move towards Delhi. Move on any road, but keep it in mind that the sum of the speeds should be 120. Now we have imposed a restriction, or we have imposed a condition, but keep it in mind that speed of your bike should be less than 90 km per hour. So this is a restriction imposed on the particles. Now if some particle says that no, I want my bike on a speed of 100 km per hour, then we will say no, according to the system you cannot move. Okay, so if any kind of restrictions are imposed on particles, then such a system is known as constraint system. Otherwise, the system is known as the free system. Okay, now the constraints means the restrictions. The constraints are having several types. The first one is the differential constraints. Basically what happens, we can apply conditions on time, on displacement and on velocities. If we are leaving the vector component, then we can say that we can impose the conditions on time, position and speed. Like in the example we have discussed, that we had said that okay, you are to move on the Delhi road, but keep it in mind that your speed should be less than equal to 90. So it's a restriction on the speed. In the similar way, if we are imposing a condition of the type that okay, you are to move, but keep it in mind that after 20 minutes all of you should be in Sapla. Then after 25 minutes all of you should be at Rohad Toll. After 45 minutes all of you should be in Bahadurgarh. This time we have imposed the conditions on time as well as positions also. Okay, so what is going on? We can impose the restrictions on time, position and displacement. We can give the instructions. Okay, time, position and velocity means time, displacement and velocity. So generally a constraint is written in this type. It will be a function of time, position, or we can say displacement and the velocity. So the constraints are represented in this form: F, T, RK, RK vector dot. Keep it in mind, here this RK vector is representing all the possibilities of displacement R1, R2, Rn. Similarly, RK vector dot, this dot is for velocity. Earlier it is represented in equation 1. RK vector dot, it is Vk, the velocity of the kth component. And we are assuming a system of n components, n particles. So we are having constraint is a function of T, R1, R2, Rn, V1, V2, Vn. Or we can say R1 dot, R2 dot, Rn dot. Dot represents derivative with respect to time. And differential constraint, any constraint in which the restrictions are imposed on the velocity. Such constraints are known as differential or kinematical. Okay. So in the remark it is stated that yes, although we people are going to write every time constraint in equation as in equation 2, F T RK RK vector dot equal to 0. But it's just a notation for this function. Basically, the equation for constraint is F T R1 R2 Rn R1 dot R2 dot Rn dot is equal to 0. But instead of writing this long term, we will write it in the form F T RK RK vector dot. Okay, this will be the abbreviated notation for constraint equation. Is it okay? The next one is finite or geometrical constraints. Any constraint equation in which there is no restriction imposed on the velocity, means the restrictions are only either on time or on displacement. So this time equations of constraint will be of the type F T RK vector is equal to 0. So what we have discussed, first thing, three system. A system in which there is no restriction imposed on the system, there are no constraints imposed on the system, is known as the free system. The particles can move freely. Second term, the constraint system in which some constraints are imposed either on time or on displacement or on velocity. Then constraints are of two types majorly. The first one, the differential constraints, in which the restrictions are imposed on the velocity. Means in the constraint equation, the velocity component is available. Okay, so the equation for differential constraint will be of the type f t rk vector dot is equal to 0. And second one is finite or geometric constraint. It is of type in which only time and displacement component are available. Means the velocity component is not present in a finite constraint. So the equation for this will be of the type f t rk vector is equal to 0. But the worth mentioning thing here is that f t rk vector dot, it is the notation for this function. Basically, the constraint equation will involve time, all the possible displacement and all the possible velocities. So it will be f t r1 r2 rn r1 dot r2 dot rn dot. But instead of writing this thing every time, we will write f t rk vector dot. And we will assume that this term is similar to this one. Similarly, when we are talking about the finite constraints and we are writing f t rk vector is equal to 0, it means this term is f t r1 r2 rn is equal to 0. Equation 3 is not only a single component is there, all the possible n components are there. Okay, so these are the constraint equations. However, in general, when we are discussing about the differential constraints are those in which velocity component is present. Throughout our syllabi, we will assume that in constraint equations, the velocity component will be in the linear form. And to denote that, we will consider the differential constraints of the type this. Equation number 4. L1 R1 dot plus L2 R2 dot plus Ln Rn dot plus D is equal to 0. Or we can write it like summation k from 1 to capital N, Lk vector Rk vector dot plus D is equal to 0. Here Rk vector dot is the velocity. This Lk and D, these are the functions of time and displacement only. Lk vector, it will be a function of time and displacement. No velocity component will be present in Lk. Similarly, D, it's a function of time and displacement. Okay. So equation 4 will be the general term for differential constraints, in which the velocity is in the linear form. Is it okay? The next one. Now we are having the remark. Basically, in this remark, we are going to show that if some finite constraint is given, then we can convert that very constraint into a differential constraint. How it is possible? Assume the finite constraint is given. So it will be f t rk vector is equal to 0. It will be f t r1 r2 rn. Now differentiate this equation with respect to time. What will happen? It will be summation k from 1 to capital N, a partial derivative of f with respect to rk vector, and then derivative of rk with respect to t. So it will be rk vector dot plus partial derivative of f with respect to t. What the finite constraint is given, f t rk vector is equal to 0. Differentiating this one with respect to t. Now using the chain rule, a derivative of f with respect to t and then derivative of t with respect to t, it will be 1. So it will be curly f by curly t plus into 1. This term is obtained. The next one, derivative of f with respect to r1, then derivative of r1 with respect to t. So that will be curly f by curly r1 dot. Derivative of f with respect to r2 and then derivative of r2 with respect to t. Continuing like this, at last it will be derivative of f with respect to rn and then derivative of rn with respect to t. So we will obtain summation k from 1 to n curly f alpha curly f by curly rk vector dot plus curly f by curly t equal to 0. Where rk is the displacement component written like xk I cap plus yk j cap plus zk k cap. Okay. In the parallel, partial derivative of f with respect to rk will be derivative of f with respect to xk I cap plus derivative of f with respect to yk j cap plus derivative of f with respect to zk k cap. And it is the gradient of f. Is it okay? Now, this equation 5 contains velocity component. So, from a finite constraint, we obtained a velocity component. So, a differential constraint is obtained. On the reverse part, it is not always possible. Because if some equation is given in which velocity component is there, now if we integrate that, then there are two possibilities. Either the integration is possible or the integration is not possible. If the integration is possible, then we will obtain the finite constraint. But if the integration is not possible, then we will not obtain the finite constraint, and in that case, we will say that that very constraint is differential but not integrable. If integration is possible, means finite constraint is obtained, then we will say that the equation is differential but integrable. Okay. So, for today, I think it's enough. All of you should read these concepts. Tomorrow we will find out the classification of constraints.